If you really want to decorate large areas very quickly, think about using large branches like this. And what we do is we take these branches and we lay them down as the basis for the display and then fill in with some of the other evergreens like the yellow evergreens and junipers. And finally, when we're done, we just fill in with a few deciduous holly berries like this. It really makes decorating very quick. Spotting a tree is a real easy way to highlight your evergreens around your home. With floodlights, it almost looks like snow on the tips of the branches. The important thing when you light your trees is to use a baffle. We just use a pot here that we've cut so the light only shines on the tree and it doesn't blind your passerbys or your neighbors, which is real important. And I guess the last thing to remember is to have this whole setup on a timing system so it only comes on from 1 to 3 hours a day and therefore helps conserve energy. What do you do with your containers that have had summer flowering annuals in them? Just remove the annuals and take your evergreens and stick them in like this. Great, easy, quick display. When you're dealing with things that freeze and crack or some of your pottery you really don't want to ruin, you can take your arrangements and put them in plastic containers like this, build them, and just set them in like this where it won't damage the surrounding container. Let's go inside and look at a couple other quick, easy decorating tips. We've just finished spotting a tree outdoors, but there is a great way to light your live cut Christmas trees indoors. One of the things that I found was that you really need to get the lights into the tree, not around the edge. So you need a tree that's really not overly grown. You know, sometimes we have to come in and thin out layers. Now, we just don't thin out branches, but we take out branches so there's a whole layer to get the lights in. But you've got to get the lights all the way in toward the trunk of the tree and then lay them on those empty areas inside the tree. You know, I always learn something new. What I learned this year was that by lightly and not really pulling your lights, but stretching your lights by tying them here and gently pulling them and letting them lay for about 10 minutes, they really lay on the tree rather than bunch up and curl as you see it did in the beginning of the tree before I started stretching the lights. It really allowed for a more natural appearance of the tree. And here you don't even see the strands. Where I didn't stretch the strands, you really see the lights. This allows you to add a lot more lights to the tree, and your tree is just a lot prettier indoors. You know, it may take hours to come up with that perfect display, but how do you remember to duplicate that year after year? Well, it's really simple. Some of you might already be doing it. All we do is we just take, you can take either a digital picture or a print picture of that perfect display, and you keep it from year after year. Not only does it give you the ability to duplicate it exactly as you see, but it makes decorating a lot quicker, and it makes decorating really more enjoyable. The other thing that we do is when we finally pack up this display, we carefully pack it in boxes. And we would, for example, this is the log cabin, we would write the word log cabin in every box. So when we're ready to redecorate, it's really easy to accomplish that. I'm Mark Viette. Join me next time in the garden.
For more garden tips, go to the In the Garden website at www.inthegardenradio.com.